This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Good morning. Welcome in. It's Wednesday. We're making things happen here inside the studio. This is the Simply Superior Studio, the A-Cup House on the Opry Plaza, and you are right here for Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Would you show the audience what you did to get my attention like 10 seconds ago? Hey!
When he has headphones on and he's not looking at me, he's in another world. And I was like, Charlie, Charlie,
hello,
Charlie,
here I am.
Charlie. So I can smack you with the mouse pad. But we've got it together. Here we are, everybody here. We got Bill taking a few days off, enjoying his little time in a cabin, I think, right?
Yeah, like legitimately he's taking a few days off. Not like 52 days off last time. This is
vacation.
This is vacation.
It was planned.
Yes.
He's having fun in a cabin somewhere.
Yeah.
So he'll be back. Annie Nye is here. We've got Jeff Roberts upstairs. Charlie Mattos. I'm Kelly Sutton. Thanks for tuning in. Lots of stuff to talk about coming up. Entertainment headlines. A lot of things to get to. Last night, Hardy making his Grand Ole Opry debut. Super special guest, by the way, popping in. There were a few of them backstage at the Opry last night. So we'll talk about that. Thomas Rhett says, reality show? Probably not for us. However, they would be the perfect contenders.
They would be, yes.
With four little girls. It would be
maybe if it's lucrative enough.
Show me the money.
There you go.
I mean,
thank you, Cuba Gooding.
Everybody can say that.
Yep.
Maddox Batson is launching a new tour. We just got a notice about another ACM winner. They're rolling out some of the new winners before the ACM Awards.
More?
There was another one
that
was just announced.
All right.
So we'll tell you all about that coming up in entertainment headlines. That is still to come. Also, Jenny Teator is going to be here with us.
Love her new song, Roll with the Punches.
Yeah.
When first description I heard of her was a combination of Miranda Lambert and Alanis Morissette. And I'm like, I've got to hear this voice.
That's perfect.
And she delivers.
So good.
Really good.
Got a residency at the 1230 Club, so we're going to be talking to her coming up in just a little bit.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Good morning. Welcome in. It's Coffee, Country, and Cody, and we are inside the Simply Superior Studio at the A-Cup House. We just opened the doors and welcomed in Jenny. It's good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Jenny Teator is here with us. Album is coming very soon. I got one of the first copies. What are we, like 10 days away from the release?
Yeah, May 9th. Yeah.
Oh
my gosh.
You feeling good about it?
I feel so good. I'm so ready. It's been a long time coming, about a year and a half in the making. So it's my debut album. It's the big one.
It is.
Yes.
This is the very first one.
It is.
Okay, so take us back. You are moving from St. Louis to Nashville. Was St. Louis originally home?
No, I was born in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yep. But I say I'm from St. Louis. I really grew up in St. Louis. But from St. Louis, I went to college at Mizzou in Columbia, Missouri, and then moved from there to here about 8 years ago. Wow.
North,
your town.
North is the one with or without Mount Rushmore. I never know.
I don't remember. It's
no.
North Dakota, no, Mountain. South Dakota.
South Dakota has
Yes.
the, okay.
Yes.
All right.
North Dakota has Tiger Lily Gold, though, so I do know that.
This
Lots
is
of
true.
Tiger Lily Gold.
This is true.
Yeah, that's
And blizzards.
So when you decided to move to Nashville, was the goal always music? You always knew this was it? Like,
Yes.
let's
Yes.
just get there.
And when I first moved here, that was the goal. But before, when I was in college, I actually have a health degree. And I worked at a developmental disorder center, and that's my whole background. But I had a band in college, and that's really where I got my start. And when that kind of faded away for me, I was like, what do I really want to do? Like, what is something I really want to go for? And I dropped everything, and it was Nashville.
Good for
to
you.
do music. So
what was the name of the band?
Jenny Teator and the Fevers.
And the Fevers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I loved it.
See, that's a good one. Usually when
Yeah.
people tell us their band names, like especially if it was one of their first band names, they're always something that's just a little
Well, it works on the
bad.
medical thing too. So,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
And the
see,
Grace Potter and the Nocturnals is a
Yeah.
big influence.
Yes.
So that's kind of where that stemmed from. But
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So then making that jump and getting here, I'm sure in your head it was going to be one thing. What was the reality like?
It was very hard. I mean, I knew it was going to be hard, but I came here not knowing anybody. I knew one girl from college, and I just dropped everything and started fresh. But that was kind of like an adventurous thing for me too, because I knew that I I would find people, I got a job at L27 at the West End and started meeting people and just doing the thing. So you just have to dive in, and I knew I had to do that to be able to grow. And this is the best place to do that. It's saturated with so many artists and songwriters to be able to grow from and learn from. So
it's putting yourself out there, though, that can be really scary, especially in a new city.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was so scary. But I don't know. I just went for it. I just went for it. And I knew I had to do that. And I knew it had to be like a stark change for me. So
good for you. That is so brave. I can't fathom any time where I would have been like, I'm just going to go for it when I didn't know anybody. That is really one of those you're stepping out on faith kind of moments.
And there was definitely hard days. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And that comes with it. That comes with the risk.
I remember moving here from Miami. And that Nashville was never on my radar. Never on my radar. I grew up in Providence, went to school in Miami. East Coast, I knew. I'd never been further west than St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
Okay, seriously. I mean, it's true. So I remember telling my mom, I said, well, I may turn 27 in this city. I will never turn 28. I'm a fair amount older than 28. So there is something about being here once you get here and acclimate that it's a pretty cool place to be.
Yeah. And everyone was so inviting. That's like a common thing that people say. It's like everyone's willing to work together. It's a collaborative city. And that's how I met people.
But it makes you raise your A game too, right?
Yeah.
You have to raise your level a little.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how did you find your sound?
Trial and error.
Well, and I think that's one of the biggest hurdles for an artist. When they come to town, you have an idea of who you like, and then sometimes you maybe start to emulate somebody else, and it becomes more of you doing their stuff than you becoming your own artist and finding your own voice.
Right.
So that does take some time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm 8 years in, and I'm just now like, I'm in the sweet spot. It feels right. But, I started rock. A lot of my first couple singles were rock influenced, but my voice is it still has like soul in it. And I love like Susan Tedeschi, Bonnie Raitt.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my girls. And they were huge influences, and Grace Potter. So it was that vocal with, rock. Then I dabbled in blues. I had a residency at B.B. King's with Meg Williams and love blues. So it took me about 5 or 6 years to kind of figure out what lane I fit in, I guess, because that's what I was told. You gotta pick a genre, and I figured out I really don't. I'm just gonna be me, and so that's kind of why I came up with Rhinestone Rock. It's a little bit of everything. So
rhinestone's my favorite color.
Yes,
there it is.
Yep.
You came in sparkle boots, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna be friends."
Yeah,
I like this
yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
So Rhinestone Rock.
Rhinestone Rock. That's what I love it. It just fits, and it's my personality. It's my style. It's the grit, the glam, and everything in between. So
well, at the end of the day, it's a lot easier just being yourself than to try and be something else.
Absolutely.
And honestly, regardless of genre, there's really only two kinds of songs. There's good and there's bad.
That's right. And I always say that.
Yeah.
Good music.
Yeah.
That's what I like to put out. So whatever genre that fits it, great.
Well, we're going to play Roll with the Punches. And I
Yes.
think when people hear your voice, they'll know you found your sweet spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give us the backstory on this song before we play it for everybody.
Honestly, it's kind of my sassy song for all the doubters that were out there before I moved here. And everyone has an opinion, right? So it's kind of like good luck with a side of doubt is what I got. And for me, because I very much had to roll with the punches when I got here, it's a gentle reminder to myself to keep doing that, but to everyone else, because I want everyone to feel empowered to do what they want and be who they are. So keep going.
There we go. We love it. Roll with the punches right here on WSM.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
And Jenny Teator is in the studio with us this morning on the Assembly Food Hall stage. We just premiered worldwide. We got to hear Roll with the Punches on WSM. And as we're talking about it, we're listening to it. I said, wait, is this like a world premiere? And you go, yeah, it is. And I said, oh, we should have said that. So what was it like? You got to hear your song on the radio.
So cool. So surreal. This has been a dream. Opry, of WSM. So the fact that I'm here and you guys want me here is a huge compliment. So thank you.
How is it now that you've been in town for a while? You've got a residency at the 1230 Club. You're doing so many fun things. You've lived life. How does it feel to have a confidence level in yourself that you had to work at for the last 7-8 years? Because I think that you mentioned, I'm in the sweet spot now, and it's not just vocally and it's not just finding your own voice, but it's also that self-confidence of like, you can throw me into any situation and I'm going to come out on top.
Let's go. Yeah. No, it feels really good. It really does. And it wasn't easy. It takes a lot of hard work, trial and error, failing a lot, and just trying new things. Like you just have to. You have to try new things. Otherwise you don't know. Yeah. So it feels really good. I still have, moments of doubt, of course. I think every artist goes through that, of like, what am I doing? But that doesn't last long. So it feels really good to know who I am, what I stand for, and what I want to be.
That's awesome.
The interesting thing about Nashville, too, is we have a lot of wonderful venues, but we have some where clearly they're not going to be listening to you.
Yeah.
And then you've played the Bluebird where it's almost eerie how much everyone is listening to you. And those are two very different skills.
Yep. Definitely.
And unless you do them both, you don't know how you're going to react to it.
Yeah. And it's funny, like actually for me, I thrive off of a bigger crowd. And most people are like, oh, I'm typically you get stage fright or something off of a bigger crowd. But like when it's intimate, that's when I'm like, okay, they're listening to everything and I got to, show up and do my thing. But every room's the same. You got to treat every room the same and not play to the room. Just do yourself, be yourself and show them what you got. So you got to, yeah.
So knowing that you've done a few of these different places that were probably on the bucket list, what else is on the bucket list? What other rooms do you want to make sure that you get to play?
Obviously the Ryman, or the Opry. Definitely Opry. I think the biggest venue for bucket list for me is Red Rocks.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I've never been.
I haven't either.
No.
Yeah, it's that would be incredible, and just I have such a high energy set too, and I can strip it down, the song I'm about to play too, but just with the lights, I can just see the big production, and it would be incredible there. So that's gonna happen. It's on my list for sure.
I like that.
You've played Exit In here in Nashville,
Yes, sir.
and that's got a lot of history.
Oh,
you look at the wall and see the people who have played that place.
Yep. Yeah. Love the Exit In, especially even just the stage and everything. The history there is incredible, and it's dark, and it's just it's a vibe for sure. So yeah,
it's dark.
Yeah, I like it.
I've been there when people were doing rehearsals and the lights were on. It wasn't super bright, even in the middle of the day with the lights on, but you're walking around and you're like, yeah, I like it better with the lights on.
Yeah.
Let's just make it darker. It's moody.
And I remember seeing Tom Petty or Billy Joel and them referencing their first trips to Nashville and playing the Exit In.
Yeah.
So it's just cool that it has
historic.
that history.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know you're going to do something special for us, Screaming Eagles. So give us this whole setup about the story and your grandfather.
Yes. So this one's really special to me, and I really wanted to write a song about my grandfather. He was in the 101st Airborne and one of the paratroopers who jumped into Normandy on D-Day. And so I sat down, my co-writers Sheridan Gates and Tolan Shaw, and I remembered some letters that he wrote home during war. He lived to 93.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so in 2017 at his, funeral, I found these letters that he wrote home during war, and I told them about it during the ride. And I remember there was letters to his first wife, Shirley, and to his father. And I remember seeing the differences in the letters. To Shirley, it was like, the coffee's great. How are the kids? He didn't want to worry her about what was going on over there. And then to his father, he was more honest about what was happening. And so we ended up using those letters. They are the verses of this song. And Screaming Eagles is the nickname for the 101st Airborne, for anyone who's unfamiliar.
Yeah.
And so it's just a great tribute to the Screaming Eagles, and really anyone who's been in a scenario where you've received letters like this. Like it's really touched so many people, and I've got the attention of the 101st Airborne with this, and just had some incredible opportunities with this song. And so, this goes out to anyone who has served the Screaming Eagles and my grandpa.
Fantastic. That is amazing.
Thank you.
What was your grandfather's name?
Paul. Paul Teator. Still lives on. Say it every day. Think about him every day. I actually had the opportunity to jump out of an airplane with
You did?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
I'm telling you,
Oh.
I had built a relationship with them over the last year, and I get a call. You wanna jump out of an airplane? I'm like, yeah, I do. I think I can't say no that. And it was with the U.S. Army Golden Knights.
Yes.
Wow.
And they videoed the whole thing, so you can see my cheeks flopping in the air. It's on my YouTube. It was amazing. It was amazing. Didn't even feel like you were falling. I know that's crazy to say, but it really didn't. You're falling at 128 miles per hour. And I wore his jump wings, his pin on my waistband, so he was up there with me. And man, it was just a really cool opportunity to do that.
That's amazing.
And so he lives on through this song.
Have you been to New Orleans and the D-Day Museum?
No,
It's one of the best experiences of my life.
I've heard.
And you would appreciate it more than most, for
Yeah,
sure.
for
So,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to jump out of anything.
Okay,
there.
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm one and done for that. That was awesome, but you know.
Congrats on everything.
Thank
you
you.
so much for coming in. Jenny Teator, you can see her, 1230 Club, the new debut album. It's going to be out, Breaking the Mold, May the 9th.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for coming in.
Thank you so
Good
much
to
for
see
having me,
you.
guys.
There's more on Coffee Country and Cody. Oh, no, thank you, Gabby Barrett. There she was on stage at the Grand Ole Opry and just singing one of the songs, the song really, that kind of brought her to the forefront. And you hear it and you're like, man, I think she's really healing from that relationship. And then when she says, and then I hope she cheats, you're like, oh, wait a minute. No, I like her even more because it's vindictive and I'm down with that. So, I hope she cheats like you did on me.
That's why I behave well around here.
First time that I heard that song, I was like, oh, this is kind of sweet. Like, and then, that little twist.
It's like,
I like that.
Okay,
hey,
that.
we have some breaking news.
Hang on. You want
Get my
your-
you got my timpani ready? Thank you very much. It was just announced ahead of the 60th annual ACM Awards that will be happening on May the 8th next week. We now know who is the new duo or group of the year. Congratulations to the Red Clay Strays.
Oh, good choice.
How about that? They were surprised with their first ACM Award win while recording with Dave Cobb in Savannah, Georgia. Miranda Lambert called them on the phone.
To let them know?
To let them
that's
know.
great. That's
yeah.
great.
And that rounds out all of the best new categories they've now been awarded. So our best new male is Zach Top, best new female, Ella Langley, and now best new duo or group, the Red Clay Strays.
Well, I think they went 3 for 3.
Yeah.
Can't complain about any of those.
Excellent choices all the way around. Okay, speaking of Ella Langley, she showed up last night at the Grand Ole Opry because Hardy was there making his Grand Ole Opry debut. It was really a special night. I mean, Hardy's been around town for years. He's had #1 hits on his own. He's had #1 hits that he's written for other people. ACM and CMA Songs of the Year with God's Country for Blake Shelton. So he's no stranger to our music industry, but he's never played on the Opry stage as part of the Opry. He was there with the People's Choice Country Awards.
Yeah.
So he's been on the stage, but not in an Opry capacity.
Well, it looked like a fun time
So-
at the Opry.
That was not from the Opry. They weren't.
Somebody's
drinking
having a good
backstage.
time.
But yeah, it was just a really special night. He got to do a few songs, and then it was the coolest part. Before he ever came on the stage, I kind of set up the video, and Lainey Wilson had sent in a video just saying, Hardy, I love you. You're my brother. I'm so sad I can't be there, but, welcome to the Opry stage. Happy that you're making your debut. And then he did the song that he and Lainey did together with Ella. So she sang Lainey's part in Wait in the Truck. It was just a great night overall. Congratulations to Hardy making his Grand Ole Opry debut last night. All right, let's talk about Thomas Rhett. Is a reality show in the works? He's going to say, don't count on it. He and Lauren have 4 girls, and I am sure that a day in the life is probably crazy and chaotic. He has, however, had some people say, you should probably just put this on film.
Honestly, we've been asked a bunch of times to do a reality show, but I just don't think that's something me and Lauren, we give enough of ourselves, I think, on social media, and we pretty much open our home and our marriage to our fans in a way where it's like you see the good, bad, the ugly. But I think a reality show might be too much. But I don't think I want to be like an actor, but I think it would be pretty fun to be in a few scenes in a big movie or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, get on Yellowstone. That's what everybody else does. Well, Yellowstone's probably over at this point, but we've got 1923. We're going to have another spinoff. Landman is available. Just call Taylor Sheridan. He'll get you in something, right? That's how it works these days.
Apparently, yeah.
I think so.
He's the guy.
He is the guy. You could also write a song and then he'd put it in there and then you could sing it, be yourself, whatever. But yeah, reality show. If you have 4 kids at home and it's crazy, and I think they've got some pets too, and then Lauren has her successful podcast and she's an author, and then you throw TV cameras on top of it, that might just be a little too much icing on that cake. That's a lot. That's a lot. All right, Dolly Parton and Billy the Kid. This is the 3rd book she has in the trilogy of the Billy the Kid series. This is her children's book line for everybody that isn't familiar. Billy the Kid is a sweet little dog. He's a French bulldog. And this one is called Billy the Kid Dances His Heart Out.
Oh, good boy.
He's a
Look
good
at
boy.
him.
Look at your face. Isn't he cute? Oh, my goodness. And we get introduced to Bella. Bella is a dance teacher who helps Billy find his footing. And he becomes a little smitten with Bella. So that's all coming together. Dolly's also releasing a new song to go along with it called Bella. Comes out the same day as the book. She's a marketing genius, that one. We absolutely love her. Okay, talked about this earlier. TV memorabilia going up for auction. One of my favorite shows growing up, Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Well, the iconic door from Cheers, the one that you saw at every scene when they would walk into the bar, is going up for auction. Early estimates, they think it's going to go around $125,000 to $150,000
For a door.
for a door. Would you pay that?
No. Well, I don't have it, even if I wanted to. But, all right, you said you had a door story.
This is the door story. So for the past 6 seasons, we've done a podcast. It's Country Heat Weekly Podcast. It was in our Amazon studios, and we had all of our guests sign a door. We had a door that was in there.
Okay.
Eric Church said, "What's that door to?" And we're like, "I don't know. It should be our memorial door now." So he deemed it. Everyone signed it. They sold the building. We had to relocate to another studio, but we wanted the door. So we took the door off the hinges and we took it with us.
That's what I'm talking about.
We hung it like a piece of art. The company that bought the house said, "Where's the door? We want it back." They've made it into an Airbnb, and that is the focal point of the Airbnb.
The door?
Is the door that we had autographed for 3 years. I mean, 6 seasons worth of autographs. And now you can stay there for $1,400 a night. You can stare at the door that I worked very hard to get the signatures for. It is on Music Row.
Listen, if we provide the tools, just take it off the hinges.
We did, but they came and got it.
No, just one of the people staying there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
well,
There wasn't a door here when we got here.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
Slide into my DMs.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
I am so excited because I have not seen this lady in a while. And she walked in and I was like, oh, I just needed to hug my friend Kalie Shorr. How are you?
I'm so much better after seeing you guys. How are y'all?
We're doing great. Welcome into the new studio.
It's gorgeous.
Right?
I love the lore about it too with Roy Acuff. I'm sure you guys talk about it all the time. But
We
it's
really do.
Incredible.
Also, the wood that you're sitting on, this is our Assembly Food Hall stage, but that is from the Ryman. So
that's cool. So it's like it's not the circle, it's the rectangle.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. It's
That's
not,
what he says all
It's
the
not
time.
catching on. So if you could start using the rectangle
rectangle.
in addition to the circle, but it's the exact same wood. Early
I stepped onto the rectangle.
early 1950s.
I knew it felt haunted in
Yeah.
here.
You've got the vibes, right? You're feeling the energy come up through the wood, all the things. It's so good to see you. You've been in LA for a minute. I've known you for years. Just
so long.
Being
Probably
so-
almost 10. Probably 10.
Has it been that
Yeah.
long? Oh my
When
gosh.
we haven't aged a bit.
Not at all.
Maybe emotionally, but
You maybe.
I've
Maybe
aged
not.
in all ways one can age. I've done all the aging for you guys.
I love seeing you and I love seeing your face, and I'm so happy that you're back. And you've been doing kind of a thing where you're back and forth, right? So coming here, writing, doing some stuff, also still being in LA.
yeah, well, I was here for 9 years, so it's like when I come back, it doesn't feel like visiting at all. I feel like I step into my old life, and like in a good way, like
Yeah.
not a bad way. And I have so many friends who are still here. Actually, like 3 of my LA best friends all moved to Nashville, and so we kind of like flip-flopped, but I see them honestly like just as much. And I'm always like Haley Steele, who wrote Fight Like a Girl with me. I love her. When she was like telling me the other night, she's like, I literally see you more than I see some of my friends in Nashville. And I'm like, well, it's just because I drag you out with me every time I'm here. Yeah.
So going West Coast for a while.
Yeah.
How did that impact your songwriting? Because that's a whole different flavor out there. You've got a lot of different vibes and influences that are happening. What was that like versus being here for the 9 years that you were here?
I think that I did it definitely the right way. And part of why I loved LA is I felt like really, not that I didn't feel valued here, but like I felt really valued for my lyric writing, and people would like bring me into sessions because they needed somebody to do that. And that's like something that you learn in Nashville for sure. But I remember before like the whole pop punk revival, and now there's like this huge, like, I mean, country's having an undeniable moment.
Yeah.
And, you know what Barbara Mandrell said, like, I was country before country was cool.
Yeah.
And then Lainey,
Yes.
country school again. But I think, you know, I used to get like kind of like a sideways glance when I bring a guitar to a session, because they'd be like, well, what are you going to do with that? And I'm like, well, what am I not going to do with that? I'm like,
You really?
Yeah.
So writing sessions out there, a guitar is kind of foreign.
they are there now, but I also like end up playing a lot on records, which I love playing guitar, and that's really fun, but it's because there's just not really enough guitar players out there. So, yeah.
Oh,
I
well,
know.
don't put out that beacon, because everyone will be on a plane tomorrow to LAX. All the guitar players that are out of work here are like, let's go west, young man.
You'll love this story. I'm a huge Mary Chapin Carpenter fan, right? And
Yeah.
she tells a great meet and greet story about a gentleman who obviously had won the meet and greet, was not a big fan. And he goes, well, you sure do change guitars all night long. Do you play them, or are they just props?
Oh, I would have. Oh. You wouldn't want to know what I would do in that situation.
Oh, sir. That's such a loaded question, isn't it? Oh, my
So
goodness.
I was looking back through years of emails. I don't think it was the first time you ever joined us, but I know for sure the day before your Opry debut in 2018, you were with us at our old hotel
I know
studio.
it's been like, yeah, the March
That would have been March
31st
of 2018. Yeah, a little
March
over 7
31st.
years. Yep.
What do you remember about being on the Opry stage?
Oh my God, I mean, I loved it. I've played 24 times, and I'm like, I have to come back at some point, because I have the tally marks on the guitar strap that the band gave me, and it's like really bothering me that there's just like one that isn't dashed, you know?
Yeah, you need that perfect 25.
But that was such a magical night. My mom was there. We had an after party at Dave & Buster's. That was fun. But I mean, I just remember feeling really like just welcomed, and then had so many inside jokes because like Dan mispronounced my name, so now like I always call him like Dave or like Don. Like we never call each other the right name anymore. I'm like Carly,
Nice.
Kelsey. I get all the other country girls' names.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, just everybody's like always smiling and seems really happy to work there, and you can't say that about many places. Like even the security guard I saw this morning, like they're just always so happy. And,
Yeah.
like, I still have my parking spot sign on my wall.
You do?
Under my plaques, yeah.
Oh, that's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us about music that you're working on now. I want to know like what's happening with 2025, Kalie.
Yes, well, God, it's been a ride, because I think we talked about this, but I did like this whole series called How I Got Unfamous. Mm-hmm. And it was about just how I went from this super high point in my career with releasing Open Book, and then the pandemic happening, and then just kind of having all these business things happen at once, like all the stuff that you don't want to think about as a creative. Getting stuck in a record deal, having like a team, like getting dropped. I got dropped by my manager and my record label on the same day, which was like not fun. I was like, couldn't you have like waited like a week? Like just a week. Like
Just give me a breather. Yeah.
But then I'm like, you know what? That is pretty good for the narrative. It sounds, you know, I'm like, definitely, it hits you. But I just had to take an extended break from releasing music contractually, and I'm now able to do that again. And I just put out my song Unkiss, and then I have a new one coming out called My Type, and then I'm releasing an EP and then an album in the fall, and it'll be my second album with a long break between two albums, but it's fine. I'm just really excited to feel like myself again, and be creative and be able to share that with people, because I never stopped writing. I had a lot of like I write for other artists a lot as well. Mm-hmm. So I was able to keep songwriting as much as I was before during that period of time that I was off, quote unquote. But it was definitely a learning experience. I feel so much more grateful for everything that's happening now. And I think it just proved to me how much I genuinely want to do this, because like I had to go back to waitressing and I hadn't had a job in 8 years. And I was like, oh, I don't know how to do this anymore.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Sweeter
now
the second time
now
around.
I'm not doing that. So that's good. Yeah.
Always sweeter the second time around.
I'm curious, creatively, how different to write a song when you know it's not going to be for you, if you're intentionally writing it for somebody else?
Yeah, it's I mean, I typically write. I've had some outside cuts where somebody records a song that didn't write it, but typically it's me writing with other artists. And I think that's just treating people the way that you'd want to be treated. I work like a lot with like girls who are like, 16 to 20 who are used to being dismissed in rights. And that was what I loved so much about Haley Steele and some of the women that I came up writing with, because they like believed that I had something important to say. And historically, if you look at things like that, Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Alanis Morissette, like they might have been young, but it did not stop them from having something really profound to say. So when I'm writing with like younger girls specifically, I just try to like empower them and listen to them, and then I'll have like a line idea and they'll be like, that's a good line. And I'm like, well, it's actually something you said when I was asking you about the guy who just broke up with you, and you just didn't think it was a line, and then you put it in the song. And but that's definitely different, because that's all happening internally when I write for myself.
Yeah.
But I really do love them equally in different ways.
I love it. Okay, well, we're going to play Love Child. Give us the details on this song.
Well, Love Child, I got to play on the Opry with Butch Walker, who produced that record. Charlie, I feel like we fangirled about him before, but
we have, yes.
He's the best. That was a really special experience. But this is just like my life story in, what'd you say, 2 minutes, 58 seconds?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to roll it right now.
So if you want to get to know me, you just listen to the song, and it really tells you everything.
This is it. Kalie Shorr, you're hearing it right now on WSM. It's Love Child.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
Oh, we're just fangirling over Taylor Swift and others here inside the Coffee Country and Cody studio. Kalie Shorr is with us. She's on the Assembly Food Hall stage. Happy to have you back in. How many times have you done this show? Do you have any idea? You've done the Opry 24 times.
Probably like at least 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very like regular. I think we need to give her a parking space in the back.
I think you were with us like literally a few days before you left for LA.
I think I was.
I mean, it was
too.
like the week
Yeah.
of the move, if I remember
think
correctly.
I think you're right.
Yep.
Wow.
How do you even pack for that? Did you just get rid of like a lot of stuff? Was there a big
no,
purge?
I'm so bad. Actually, well, what I have to deal with after this, guys? I have a
Storage?
I have a storage unit.
Storage.
There it is.
And I finally, it's been a long time, and I finally got a text from my ex-boyfriend that was like, hey, do you think you could maybe come get your stuff from the storage unit? And I'm like, I think he's heard the songs about him, and I'm like, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Do you even know it's still in there?
No. So it might just be a surprise, but yeah.
Not a bad premise for a song.
That's exactly what I was
what's in the
thinking.
storage
What's in the
unit?
storage unit?
Yeah, because it's been there for so long that you've actually forgotten about it. So
I'm
this
gonna have
is
to emotionally prepare, aren't I? Oh.
this is literally unpacking the past.
It is.
Listen, we'll only take half. Feel free to write the rest.
Right? Unpacking the past with Kalie Shorr. It's going to be happening. It won't make the new EP that's coming out, because we do have something happening this summer, right?
Yes, so I'm releasing my next single, My Type, on May 30th.
Okay.
The day before I play Out Loud Festival in West Hollywood.
Fun.
And then I have the EP coming out in July. It's going to be really, really exciting. And I'm finishing everything up now. I'm doing vocals after this and unpacking the past. It's a lot. What a day for Kalie Shorr.
I wonder which one is going to be more taxing on you.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep you posted.
Okay,
I'll
you
text
let us know. You let us know. I do love how open and honest you've really been on social media, though, because there are so many people who are in your shoes when they are trying to make it in music, whatever genre it is. And there's a whole business side to this that is difficult to understand and sometimes really complicated. And so what you're doing is you're demystifying a lot of that for other people before they step in, and you let them know this is what's happening. So
yeah, that was a really interesting experience. And the people that like reached out kind of like surprised, like Martina McBride and Leanne Rimes watched it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's insane. And then I went back and I was like, what did I say? Because then I have to watch it and perceive it as them, But it was really like reconnected me with a lot of people. I mean, that's actually kind of like how I reconnected with like some of my team, and just reclaiming my narrative. I found out some like holes in the story. Like I was like, I had to go back to therapy after the Unfamous series, but it was a good thing. Yeah. Okay. But I sit down with my therapist. She's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I don't even know where to begin with this."
How much time do you have? No, I get it. Would you ever consider doing like a record to complement that, like an Unfamous record that went along with what you were writing at the time of each one of those?
That would be really interesting because that's a good idea.
You're welcome.
I could even just do that on social media because there was a song for every single part, you know?
Yeah.
And right now I'm like, I've been yapping on social media so much for the past 2 years that I couldn't release music, 3 years. And now I'm like, okay, I have to be a musician again, but like some people, I'm like, they might just think all I do is make jokes about my ex-boyfriend. So I'm like having to like, let me reintroduce myself.
I actually sing songs that I write. Yeah. Well,
here we go.
You know what's crazy though? Well, your story is very unique to yourself. It is not one that is not part of this genre, right?
Sure.
I mean, famously, Billy Joel moved across country to get out of a horrific record deal and went by the name of Bill Martin and literally played in piano bars out in LA to wait out a deal that, you know, I think he made $12,000 on the song Piano Man.
Wow.
Because it was such a horrific publishing deal that he had signed.
Wow.
So and he did okay. So
yeah, I just saw him play Stadium with Stevie Nicks. So they're fine.
He's winning. Well, you're going to play something new for us. This is called When in Rome. Tell us all about the song.
So I went on a trip to Italy to see two of my best friends get married and then turned it into a girls' trip where we like went, you know, traveled through the whole country. But I had just gone... This was actually like exactly a year ago, like this week. But I just gone through a breakup with a country singer, naturally. And I was like so happy to be there and experience Italy. I'd never done anything like that with just me and my friends and had such a blast. But like as soon as I was on a train staring out the window with like a raindrop falling down, I was like, oh, I miss him, you know? And so I had the idea for this song, came back and started writing it. And it's been one of my favorites and it's going to be on the EP. It's a country song. I don't know, every song I write about this guy who's a country singer ends up being a country song. And I'm like, well, you know.
Good for the song.
I almost just said When in Rome, like unironically, but it is called When in Rome in a literal sense. So yeah.
It all comes back full circle. All right. Kalie Shorr, this is When in Rome. You're hearing it this morning on Coffee, Country, and Cody. I love that.
Thank you.
Now I want to go to Italy.
Right? It's so cheap too.
Is it?
Oh my God, it's like $2 for like a glass of like, wine. I mean, it's very,
All right, we're going to plan a trip because now I want to go. I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you too. And that's my first time playing that on like live anywhere. So yeah.
World premiere. Yeah. We just got a world premiere. It's beautiful. And I cannot wait for more. You're going to be doing all of this together in a project coming this summer.
Yeah.
All right. Do we know the name of the project?
Yeah, it's called My Type.
Okay, perfect.
Obviously.
And a single coming on the 31st of May?
30th of May.
30th of May. Kalie Shorr, thanks for coming in. It's so good to see you.
So good to see you.
All right, we got more right here on Coffee, Country, and Cody. This is WSM.